Hello everybody and welcome to the Daily Review, episode number 192 for Wednesday, August 12th, 2009.
I heard the neighborhood was bleeding.
And the film I'm going to be reviewing for you guys today is A Perfect Getaway. This film is directed by David Twohy. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. T-W-O-H-Y. I don't know. And it stars Steve Zahn, Mila Jovovich, Timothy Olyphant, and Kylie Sanchez. And the film is basically about a couple, Steve Zahn and Mila Jovovich, and they go to Hawaii for their honeymoon. They're recently married. They go to Hawaii. While they're in Hawaii, they're planning on taking this big hike up this crazy mountain where it's really isolated and all that sort of thing. And they find out that there is a couple, a man and a woman, who are wanted for murdering another couple. And so basically they meet up with Timothy Olyphant and Kylie Sanchez, who are boyfriend-girlfriend. They're not together. They always have this banter about how he hasn't proposed yet. But they start getting paranoid that they might be the killers. There's also these other two people that they think might be the killers, and it's kind of a cat and mouse game for most of the film. Excuse me. A Perfect Getaway is a pretty solid film. I don't think it's outstanding by any means, but I think it's very decent. I think one of the things that prevents it from being a great film is a lot of minor nitpicks, I think, that I have with the film. One of them is that the film is an hour and a half long, a little over an hour and a half, and there's no real drama or conflict or anything that's going on for about the first hour of the film. It's surprising to me, too, because from the trailers it looks like, you know, a standard generic thriller, and I want to tell people that haven't seen it that this isn't a very standard or generic thriller, because I think it takes its time. I think it's very slow-paced a little bit in the beginning, which is kind of good and bad for me. I would have liked the action to happen a little faster in the film than it does. That's minor. Another kind of nitpick I have with the film is that Steve Zahn's character is a screenwriter, and Timothy Olyphant's character is kind of like a movie buff. So there's a lot of dialogue that takes place between them that's really like winky wink to the camera. I think there's a part where Timothy Olyphant says something to him about, "Oh, that'd make for a good Act 2 twist though, wouldn't it?" And it's kind of like, There's some other stuff where he talks about how he knows all about red snappers, and Steve Zahn's like, "You mean red herrings?" He goes, "Yeah, what do you mean?" He goes, "You know, red herrings are in movies where they throw characters in to throw the audience off for who the real killer or whoever is." All sort of stuff like that. The big thing I wanted to mention with The Perfect Getaway, which has basically been known now in the trailers and from reviews and critics, and everybody's kind of made it known, is that there is a twist at the end. I think that the twist is actually pretty good. I think it's a little predictable. I mean, I think you can see it coming probably if you're smart midway through. If you're super smart at the very beginning of the movie, you can tell. But I think the twist works, and I think the reason it works is because it's more than it seems. I think this film has the same type of quality as far as the twist goes, as in The Sixth Sense, where, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen The Sixth Sense, but where when you find out that Bruce Willis is dead, you kind of think to yourself, wait a minute, how can he be dead though? He had like a conversation with his wife at dinner. But if you go back and re-watch The Sixth Sense, you realize they never really had a conversation at dinner. You just thought you perceived it that way. And I think that's how A Perfect Getaway works. There's a lot of scenes where initially I'm like, wait, but that doesn't work because of this, this, and this. And the more I thought about it, I was like, I think it's just because you perceive it one way. When the twist happens, you'll see it in a completely different light. So I applaud the filmmakers for that. The only problem I have with the twist is the fact that they do like a 10-minute montage of flashback and backstory to explain the twist to you, which I always hate in movies. Aside from that, though, the Steve Zahn is always good and a good actor. I like him a lot, so that's probably the main reason I wanted to see this film. I would recommend that you see it. Maybe not rush out to theaters. Maybe wait for it on DVD. But it's still a pretty solid thriller. I think people will be fairly satisfied with it. I give A Perfect Getaway a 3 out of 5. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with another one for you.